Hey legends, what's up? It's Darkmech here and welcome back to another video. Today, we're tackling the Protection Paladin. So this information in the video has been obtained from using Panthea's guide on Icy Veins and Lincoln's featured guide on Wowhead. For the most up-to-date information, always make sure you're checking back on the Protection Paladin guides on Icy Veins and Wowhead. And make sure you visit the Hammer of Wrath Discord for real-time updates and frequently asked questions. With all that out of the way, let's kick into the guide and get started off with the rotation or priority system. So Protection Paladin's rotation or priority system isn't overly complex as the different abilities featured have different cooldowns attached to them. But this means that you'll generally just be pressing whatever is available to you at the time, and when multiple abilities are available at the same time, you'll be working off a priority system. So for single target or up to 2 targets rotations, you'll want to be casting Consecration if you're not standing in it first, then Judgment, Hammer of Wrath, Avenger's Shield, and then Hammer of the Righteous, and then you'll refresh Consecration when everything else is on cooldown. For your AoE rotation for 3+ targets, cast Consecration if you're not standing in it, then Avenger's Shield, Judgment, Hammer of Wrath, Hammer of the Righteous, and then once again, refreshing Consecration when those abilities are on cooldown. Your tier set on the Paladin is Glorious Purpose. 2 set, when casting Shield of the Righteous, increases your block chance by 4% for 15 seconds, and it can stack up to 3 times. 4 set for Glorious Purpose is when you take damage, you have a chance equal to 100% of your block chance to cast Judgment back at your attacker. So how does the tier set impact your rotation on the Paladin? The great news is, it doesn't at all. They're all just passive effects, so you don't need to worry about changing or learning anything new in the rotation at 2 and 4 set. You just carry on your merry way. Let's talk about talents now. So general raid talent build, level 15 Holy Shield. This is the best defensive talent on the row and it allows you to block spells. Level 25 Crusader's Judgment gives you better uptime on Shield of the Righteous by more Judgment cast. Level 30, you can take Repentance or Blinding Light. You can pick basically whatever it calls for in the fight. Level 35 Unbreakable Spirit. So Unbreakable Spirit passively reduces the cooldown of your Divine Shield, Ardent Defender, and Lay on Hands by 30%. This is your go-to pick unless you require spell warding specifically for the encounter you're doing. Level 40 Divine Purpose. So Divine Purpose causes your Holy Power spending abilities to have a 15% chance to make your next Holy Power spending ability free and deal 20% increased damage and healing. Level 45 Judgment of Light. So Judgment of Light causes Judgment to apply a debuff with 25 charges to the target called Judgment of Light. When the target is attacked, the attacker is healed and 1 charge is consumed. Level 50 Righteous Protector. The Righteous Protector makes every Holy Power spent reduce the cooldown of Avenging Wrath and Guardian of Ancient Kings by 1 second per Holy Power spent. That's your general purpose raid build. Looking at Mythic Plus now, general build from M+. Level 15 Holy Shield or Blessed Hammer. Level 25 First Avenger. Level 30, you can have your choice between Fist of Justice, Repentance, or Blinding Light. I generally like to favor Blinding Light. Level 35, Unbreakable Spirit. Level 40, Divine Purpose. Level 45, Consecrated Ground. And level 50, Righteous Protector. Let's talk about Covenant choices now on the Protection Paladin. So I'm going to start off with Raiding and then move through to Mythic Plus. Now, disclaimer before we start, every single Covenant for generalized forms of content, Alpha, Normal, Heroic, KSM, play whatever Covenant you like, play what your heart calls you to. That's not going to determine your success or failure in this. But from a min-max side of things, Raiding, Venthyr with Theatar, and Night Fae with Naya are your 2 best choices in regards to raid picks. Conduits haven't changed. Please check out the Icy Veins or Wowhead guides if you need a refresher on Conduits. I'm not going to go through all those details, it'll just take too long. So, let's talk about Venthyr. Very high burst damage, strong soul binds. The only downside to Venthyr is you have to plan out where and how you're going to use Ashen Hollow as it has a long cooldown attached to it. You get a nice mastery bonus from Soothing Shade. It's a nice bonus to defense, survivability, and damage. You can also combine it with It's Always Tea Time, which actually turns Soothing Shade into like a pseudo DR. You gain the extra snare break from Watch the Shoes, which can allow you a little bit more freedom with your Blessing of Freedom. Wasteland Proprietary increases the damage of you and your allies when you use your Covenant ability, and Party Favors will grant you a buff of either haste, crit, versatility, or primary stat for 4 hours. Venthyr is a really nice option in raid. Night Fae with Naya. This benefits a lot from double legendary. It provides buffs for your raid group, Soul Shape is extremely valuable with Flicker. You can cross a number of deadly mechanics in the raids with Flicker, and it also gives Protection Paladin another layer of mobility, which it can struggle with. Grove Invigoration provides you with additional health and mastery whenever you cast Blessing of the Seasons. Naya's Tool's Poison will actually trigger from Avenging Shield, making it a consistent DPS increase. Bonded Hearts causes you to effectively heal up to 5 nearby friendly targets for 2% of their health every 15 seconds. And if you heal somebody from another covenant, each stack of Grove Invigoration is amplified by 50%. So let's look at the Mythic Plus side of the covenants. Again, all 4 covenants viable. If you need a dungeon buff or a particular dungeon and you don't have that covenant, that's generally going to be the better choice, unless you're at the top end of things. The top choice for Mythic Plus though is Kyrian with Mechanicos. Now, Divine Toll is just a fantastic ability. It's an absolute banger. It's great for threat, utility, damage. It can also combine with First Avenger to provide defensive benefit. You gain File of Serenity, which is an extremely potent utility choice in so many of the dungeons in Shadowlands. Kyrian, Mechanicos, great pick. As mentioned, you get an AoE interrupt, you get up to 5 holy power pending on the number of enemies every minute. It has fantastic interaction with the cap talent on Mechanicos, the FU's Anima Accelerator, which provides decent damage and a cooldown reduction to Divine Toll. Mechanicos also has Hammer of the Genesis, which provides a nice little extra haste boost at the start of the pull. If you wanted to go down that route, you also have the choice between Soul Glow Spectrometer, which is a really nice target damage boost, or Reactive Retrofitting, which is a better defensive option. So lots of great options in the Kyrian tree there. Let's talk about legendaries now. So for raids, you're going to want the Mad Paragon and your Unity legendary. The Mad Paragon, this legendary helps you push more single target DPS. It pairs exceptionally well with Ashen Hollow, which is why Venthia is such a great choice, as the ability and the legendary actually stack together. And Night Phase Seasons of the Plenty will add a lot of group damage if it's used well. What slot do you want this on? Waist or feet? What stats do you want on it? Haste, mastery, or versatility? Sim yourself to make sure of that. Your Unity legendary, you're going to want on your waist or feet. And what stats? Again, haste and then mastery or versatility. Make sure you sim yourself to find out which one out a mastery or versatility. Mythic Plus, you're going to want Bulwark of Righteous Fury and Unity. Again, Bulwark of Righteous Fury will be your choice here. It allows you to do the highest amount of AoE DPS of any of the legendary options. The recommended slot is Finger. Stats wise, haste and then mastery or versatility. Again, be sure to sim yourself. Talking about the stats on the Protection Paladin, priority wise, item level, haste, mastery, versatility, and crit. It is worth mentioning though, haste, mastery, and versatility, they're all really quite close together in terms of value, which is why item level is deemed as the most important factor when determining upgrades for your character. At around 30% mastery, you'll want to start considering to try and balance out your stat budget more towards versatility to avoid any kind of diminishing returns. Enchants wise, Cloak, Soul Vitality or Fortified Speed, Chest, Eternal Skirmish or Eternal Bulwark, Gloves, Eternal Strength, Rings, Tenet of Haste, Boots, Soul Threads, Weapon you're going to take Lightless Force for DPS or Celestial Guidance for just generic use or defense. Oil, you're going to want Shadow Core Oil, Flask, Spectral Flask of Power, Potion, we're using Spectral Strength, or Empowered Exorcisms for AoE is really powerful as well. Armor kits, Heavy Desolate Armor Kit, and Health Potion is Cosmic Healing Potion. For your food, you're going to be wanting to run the Crown Roast Aspic, which is the haste food. Talk about weapons and shields. So weapon wise, you're obviously just at the mercy of whatever you can obtain and loot, but raid loot weapons and shields. Devastated World Shard is your best option, and Ruined Crest of Lordaeron. They're the best slots that you can get from raid if that is your top end content. Outside the raid from Mythic Plus, Engorged Worm Slasher from the Necrotic Wake is your best bet if you can just get a 278 of that one from your Vault forehead. And shield, the Acid Low Bulwark from Mists of Tina Scythe is the shield that you want to try and obtain from Mythic Plus. So they're your best options to go for inside and outside the raid. Nothing is going to change in regards to Season 4 coming in either. These will still remain the best ones. The reanimation of Castle and Sanctum of Domination will throw in a few one-handed weapons from the raid mix though. And obviously you'll just be chasing whatever your best stat weighted option at the highest item level that you can obtain is. Finishing up with trinkets. So got a few options here. Blood Spattered Scale. This has been a fantastic trinket all throughout Shadowlands. Deals great upfront damage, is good for snap threat, and provides a decent sized shield. Great trinket. Shard of Analyde's Aegis. So this shield in Season 3, if you had a mythic value one, is still fantastic, and Season 4 coming back, it is only going to be a better trinket once again from a defensive value. The shield will absorb damage from every hit received during the 8 seconds that it's active with no maximum cap. It is an outstanding defensive trinket. Codex of the First Technique. This is not an amazing trinket for Prot Paladins, if I'm honest. I think Prot Paladin has a lot in the ways of damage reduction that takes a lot away from this trinket, and I think it's a really hard trinket to justify for like 95% of the Protection Paladin, player base, basically. I think at 26 and above key levels, Mythic Rygalon and things like that, you could definitely get value out of this trinket, but otherwise there are lots of better options for the majority of Protection Paladins out there. Vial of Putrefaction is a solid DPS trinket that procs off your melee attacks. Old Warrior's Soul. This provides a huge amount of stats on haste on a consistent basis. Season 3 Mythic and Heroic versions are great. When Season 4 rolls back around, you'll want to try and get this trinket. Weaver the Warped Fates. If you require a cheat death trinket for Mythic Plus or raiding counters, Warped Fates is fantastic. The Mythic and Heroic level in Season 3 are great. Season 4 kicking it back around, and I want to grab one of them. Reactive Defense Matrix at Mythic level in Season 3 has been great. Again, Season 4, this trinket comes back into play. It is fantastic from a defensive and offensive point of view. You're going to want to try and pick up one of these trinkets. Last two I want to mention. Ticking Sack of Terror deals a decent amount of damage. The mastery isn't super amazing on it, but it's not a bad trinket. And Cosmic Gladiator's Badge of Ferocity. So this is an on-use strength trinket. The trinket is really good. It can line up with Avenging Wrath if you're using Righteous Protector as well. As a Kyrian, it also lines up with Divine Toll, so you can get a whole lot of juice out of this trinket if you're willing to PvP to obtain it. So that's it, guys. Hopefully I've covered off everything you wanted to know about Protection Paladin in this guide. If you got any questions, hit me up in the comments below. Otherwise, like, comment, subscribe. Thank you so much for checking out the video. See you all next time. See you, fam.